busy minds and busy hands. Today we're going to be propagating basil. Propagation sounds like a big word, but all it is really you're cloning the vegetable or fruit. So basically, today we'll be taking a cutting from an existing plant, putting it in water so that it allows it to grow some roots, and then replanting it so that I can have a new plant. Now, you may ask, why do propagation when you can just go out and buy some new products at the store? Well, propagation allows you to grow your own fruits and vegetables at home so that you don't always have to go to the store. And you know, it's a good activity. All the produce is very fresh, and spending some time outside doing some gardening, it can never hurt, right? So let's get started. So the few materials that you're going to need for this project are a plant of basil, a glass of water filled to the top, some scissors, and a pot of soil. As you can see, this soil is not the best right now, so I'm going to have to do some work to make it good for growing. And now we will begin the process of propagating the basil. Right, so this is just an organic basil plant that I picked up at the store. It's been at my house for a couple weeks now, but I've just been watering it, so it's stayed healthy so far. And right now, the first step you're going to do is pick out a stem that doesn't have too many leaves on it and is nice and healthy. And if it does have too many leaves, you can pluck them off and maybe use it in a salad or something. So I'm just going to find a stem that doesn't have too many leaves. This one seems all right. I'm just going to pluck out a few leaves that have become a little brown. And the reason that you don't want too many leaves is you want to focus the growing process on the roots. So if you have too many leaves, then all those different leaves are going to need resources like nutrients and water. So this seems to be a good stem. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to reach down and cut the stem in a diagonal fashion. Not too close to the bottom near the dirt, about an inch above that. Cutting diagonally is super important. Alright, so here is our basil stem, and the next thing I'm going to do is take my scissors and just rub the end of the stem just a little bit. And the reason that I'm doing this is called stimulating the plant, which means that we're stimulating the cells so that they can regroup and produce new roots at the bottom. And now I'm going to place it in this glass of water. The water should be filled to the top, and in it goes. You want to make sure that the leaves do not touch the water at all. So there I go. Just for the sake of it being able to reach down farther, I'm going to pluck off a few leaves. And then push it down inside. So the basil is inside now. And you have to keep the basil in this water for about 2 to 3 weeks. It could take a little longer depending on if you're cutting is long enough or healthy enough. But 2 to 3 weeks on a windowsill. I kept mine in the kitchen windowsill. I didn't need to keep it outside. And you need to make sure that it gets plenty of sunlight, and you have to change the water about every 3 days. Just dump it, take out the basil, dump out the water, and refill it. Make sure that the leaves don't touch the water. So I have an example already that I've been working on for a couple of weeks now. So this is my example that I planted about 2-3 weeks ago. As you can see, it has grown roots near the middle of the stem and at the bottom of the stem. So you can, of course, keep the basil in longer as long as you're taking good care of it, because the more roots it has, the faster it'll grow, right? So now that it has all its roots, I'm going to just, well, I'll hold off on taking it out because we need to prepare the soil so that it can be planted. So I have this old pot of soil here, and it definitely needs some work. I'm going to take out whatever plant was in here last. Ideally, you should get new soil, but have to do with what you have, right? So I'm just going to work on making sure that this soil is fit to be planted in, which means hydrating it, taking out all the roots and stones. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've just finished tending to the soil. It has a lot of water in it now, and all the roots are gone, and it's just very healthy. And now I am going to make a hole in the center of the soil after evening it out, and that is where we are going to plant. So there, I have a hole in the center of my pot. A bit too much water, but that's okay. I'm just going to take my basil. You can see the roots there. And I'm going to just plant it right in the center and just fill in with soil. And I do not think that basil needs water today because I added a lot of water to this pot. But I'm going to be monitoring for a few weeks and definitely water it about every other day. And we'll check back in a few weeks. Hi everyone! So it's been 2 weeks and I'm going to show you the basil. So I actually planted the basil that I showed in the first part of the video, and it's grown some really long roots, and I actually planted it right next to the one I originally had before that. So let's just turn the camera around and I'll show you the basil. I've been watering it every day and it's starting to grow really nicely. So this is the basil. You can see the roots a little bit sticking out. So the number of leaves has increased. This is the original one and this is the new one. As you can see, if you look, you can see the 2 tiny leaves coming up, and that's where the new leaves will be coming from. It's a really amazing process to just watch, and it's going to make yummy pasta. So that's all for today. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video and try propagation at home. And I wish you success in your basil endeavors. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on Busy Minds and Busy Hands. Bye!